What's going on, everyone? So we have a lot to do here when it comes to the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X, and we're going to get to it. First, we're going to talk about prices that have leaked, but it's not just about prices that have leaked, but it's about people posting things but not doing the proper conversions as well. So we want to give you the most accurate description as possible. Jess does a good job with that. I already gave him his like too. And if you see this windowscentral.com tag here on his Twitter, you can go to that, give him a click. He needs that. He's cool. He gives his articles for free. Unlike certain people. But anyways, here's an analysis on the leak and what you can expect for the United States price point. So, it's the same thing when people were saying that, games are $90, and it's like for the Switch, and I was like, there's no such thing. I mean, they're just converting it as if like it's one to one. I'm like, guys, each country has their own conversion. That's why stuff is more expensive in other countries. It's the currency conversion value. If it was all equal across the world, then everybody would have the same prices. But that's not the way things are working here. And we're not going to get too far off that, but are we ready to get into this? So, yeah, the prices have leaked. Let's get down. The article explains why you can't just do a straight currency conversion to get to the US price. I agree, exactly. The amount of people commenting without reading drives me crazy. This is why we're doing this first, and then we're going to get to all the good stuff. You know how I am. I do not like misinformation. So, and I don't want to give it. And if I do, I got to correct myself and say I was wrong. Not as bad as, okay. But anyways, we're not going to go down to that. Let's go to the article. Microsoft and Asus are gearing up to launch the Asus or the Xbox Ally PC gaming handheld later this year. Let's get some answers. A few weeks ago, we exclusively leaked the Xbox Ally codename Kinnan in development with Asus ROG. The Xbox range is powered by the Zen 2 APUs, as we see. And we know consoles use APU aspects as well. And you have the Zen 2 Extreme for the CPU right here. But they're customized Windows 11 experiences, by the way. It's not the same as just PC. They kind of remove certain bloat because it's a handheld. Definitely after seeing that Steam OS test, yeah, they got on that real quick, and I was kind of glad they did. So that's what they mean by like this device will have a heavily customized Windows 11 experience. Kind of like Xbox has a customized Windows experience that's for consoles, something like that. So yeah, we get all that right here. And then you have the new Xbox app having multitasking other features that are going to sync with this handheld coming later. And then there have already been some rumors that the price range flying from 800 to 1,000, which kind of makes sense because if you look at what's available now, how can that be better, less bloated, per 13, be more up-to-date models and be cheaper? That doesn't make any sense. I was thinking between 800 to 1,000, so this doesn't surprise me. And honestly, not as bad as I was expecting. Although these prices may still just be placeholders on some weird quirk of Google's new AI enhanced search algorithms, Google Search Store metadata scrapped from the Asus website seemingly suggests that the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X will closely match their predecessor's retail price, at least in Europe. That makes sense. Because I want you to think about this. If I had a product on the market right now that really nobody was really paying much attention to, and Microsoft came to me and said, I want to put my logo on there and I want to customize it a bit. And then I found out some tests with the OS that's bloated down and everything. And my price was $700 for this light model in the future, let's say. And this other one is like $1,200 or whatever. And they made everything better and they're launching on top of that. Why would it be cheaper? Definitely knowing this tariff stuff too. Guys, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even jump the gun on this price. Listen to me on this. You see what I'm saying? If you get what I mean. So Jez is right in a way too, because these people are jumping the gun, not only with wrong conversions, but also with not finalized price points. I don't trust this market. Can you guys blame me? And that goes for anything, the whole damn thing. So yeah, we see this here, but hell, who even knows if that's going to stay there? You never know, man. Just saying, definitely when it comes to politics. For comparisons to the previous Z1 Extreme, Asus ROG Ally X is currently at £899 in Europe at RRP, although it's currently on sale for $100 off on Amazon and Germany. Asus and the other hardware retailers rarely do one-to-one price conversions on devices like this. At the current exchange rate, 899 euros will be 1,050 US dollars, if that were the case. Instead, the Asus ROG Ally typically sports $799 in the United States. or it's going to be 900 bucks. So 800 to 900 bucks is definitely the range that I'm thinking. 100%. Seriously. Unless something else is taxed on top of that in the future. Like I said, you never know. And it goes up. And could this just be what they're seeing now without that even being added in? Because Asus didn't change anything. You see what I mean? So who knows? I'm just saying, let's just stay level-headed with this and let's not jump the gun. But if we want a baseline without any of that political interference and that annoyingness, then we will be looking at $800 to $900 realistically. And I'm telling you, that is literally going to be the range. And with tax, you know where you're going. Now, personally, for me, I'm going to say, no, man, I got my Switch 2, all my exclusives there. I got my laptop here. What do I need that for? You know what I mean? I got dual monitor setups, all that, desktop, if I want to do that, all that. I can just take my laptop, whatever I want with me. Just got the most up-to-date Samsung Galaxy phone as well. The S25 and all that. So, like, I'm, like, tech savvy, you know what I mean? The only thing I don't have is the Pro because I just don't agree with it at the moment. But I think this is a luxury enthusiast device, and for people who want that hardcore Xbox handheld experience. I'm not against it. Like I said, thanks to Nintendo, all these products exist, and it's just cool seeing what people want to do it how they see it. It's interesting stuff. All right, now getting back to this article, given the constant evolution of the tariff situations emanating from the United States, you can bet that Asus and Microsoft could wait until the last minute to finalize the price point. It's what I was telling you guys. There's an event on the horizon that Microsoft typically prioritizes its PC announcements though, in the form of Gamescom in Germany. So it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility for a formal announcement there. I think that makes sense. So, analysis. Could the Xbox Ally and the Xbox Ally X hit $600 and $900 in the US? This is what I believe makes sense. The only way this could possibly get better is if this was $800 and this was $500. You see what I mean? But if you want to factor in other stuff, could this possibly be $700 and this be $1,000? Oh yeah, and then we're talking about tax too. See, with tax, this is pretty much going there anyways. If you're not even getting anything with it. Yeah. Pretty pricey. Most people that are even looking at a console, they're complaining about the PS5 Pro, and then you see this, it's like, damn, you know what I mean? But that's where we're at now, So the Z1 Extreme regular Asus ROG Ally is on sale for $649 in the United States, whereas these leaked prices potentially get a bit more interesting. So you have the Extreme at $700 in Europe and $649 in the United States. And we see a $50 difference to a certain extent. Well, actually, you know what? If you do, don't worry about that. Which will put the base model of the Xbox Ally around $100 cheaper than its high-end predecessor. Yeah, that actually makes sense. Forgot about the conversion. This could be a reflection of the power disparity. The lower-end Asus ROG Ally is listed at $500 on Asus website for reference. And it's been out a while, and it's not selling that much, so sometimes I have to do sales to even get people to be interested. It's just because most PC gamers they already have their laptop and their desktop. And I actually read an article recently. Now a mass chunk of recent sales this year, data showing that gamers are now choosing those high-end laptops that have DLSS4 in them. And that's a big chunk of buying. And I've been telling people, man, that's the way to go. Take whatever you take it wherever you want. And with me, we got a Lifetime Suite in Orlando and Florida. Nintendo just opened at Universal Epic with all those other theme parks. So we go there at least every 2 years or so. Went there last year. Well, since that opened up this year, I might be going there in a few months. So it's good to travel and be able to do your work. Not having to bring some big ass desktop with you and all that. You know what I mean? No, I got my laptop for that. So that's just a realistic thing that's always been a thing. You know what I mean? It's something that the majority of the community is just always going to feel that that's what they want. Whereas these devices are like, it's a cool optional device, but it's not something that is like dedicated with its own world that if I don't have it, I can't get that there. So that doesn't mean that I'm against it. I'm just saying that the general consensus is going to be like this. That's why I say that this device, when I look at it, I see this being cool for like hardcore enthusiasts who just want to own everything and hardcore Xbox enthusiasts. And then Xbox fanboys, you got to add that as well in there because, like I said, there's a certain thing with that. I can play PlayStation games with the mentality of looking at an Xbox logo. All those algorithms and demographics that kind of favor this. But yeah, after it launches, of course, the sales will tank. It's not going to do any wonders or anything like that. We already know that. Keep that in mind. You know what I mean? If it ends up selling more, why is that bad? You know what I mean? Anything that supports more of a gaming aspect, I'm with. We're not a hater over here. But going down here, we see the models as we went through before in my videos I did back then. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 SSD, 16 gigabytes of 512 SSD, and then you have the Zen 1 and the Zen 1 Extreme. And then you have the Zen 1 Extreme with 24 gigabytes of RAM, but you get 1 terabyte. And this one is 24 and 1 terabyte for the Xbox version. So basically, this is the cheaper version. Think about the Xbox S and the X. They're kind of trying to do that here. S, X, if you get what I mean, with a PC handheld theme set up from Asus. And you're just getting the configurations here on what you want as far as specs are concerned. And we see they had to update this because this is 2023. They came out with a 2024 model right here and updated that over time. So these are the ones we want to be comparing, basically. So there has been a speculation as to whether or not Microsoft will subsidize these devices since it will be front-loading its Xbox PC store on them. I'd say that increasingly, the era of subsidized console hardware is going to be a thing of the past. As players increasingly flock to PC and third-party software sales continue to be a smaller part of Microsoft's overall business. Correct, smart guy. The Xbox Ally range are going to be Windows 11 gaming PCs in essence. It's like I was saying before. Yeah, you're flocking to PC because even a handheld aspect and sidelighting the official, like you would have an official Xbox, right, being developed, you instead move to the PC aspect, then you change the PC app and allow that stuff to come in, and you're going to sync the console and all that. That's all PC with the Xbox aspects. You see what I mean? That's what I think they're doing, and I believe is the most reasonable route at this point for them. And it's going to be OEM aspects. You see what I mean? With the Xbox hardware team being involved with the main PC Xbox aspect. See? Like that, guys. Meaning that you could buy one and never spend a penny on Microsoft's gaming ecosystem. It wouldn't make sense for Microsoft to subsidize it from their perspective. Either way, this could be our first real glimpse at the Xbox Ally price points. I would expect the United States price points to match the sticker price rather than do a simple currency conversion. Correct. As such, I wouldn't be surprised if the Xbox Ally and the X come out at around 600 and 900 respectively. Yeah. If these European leaked prices are indeed accurate, it would closely match our previous predictions on the Xbox Ally price, but we know for sure until Asus and Microsoft reveal it at their end, better get saving either way if you plan on getting it. So yeah, there we go right there. Going down to some comments. I think this will shoot Xbox on the foot. They couldn't sell systems at 300. Now they're going to try to sell a device for hundreds more. I think it's a fantasy. Well, like I said, it's a luxury hardcore enthusiast aspect. It's not for the whole world. You know what I mean? No. This is a niche product. To realistically look at it, we got to understand the conditions, what it is, and what it's going to represent, just to understand that. So we get a general analysis here about getting things accurate, so people don't go off the deep end making up stuff and having trends go on, and then fanboys come in and all that stuff where it's wrong. We got to make sure the roots are full of the right information. And here we see if stuff doesn't interfere, and if this is accurate, we got our price points here. And we're going to say at the cheapest, we would say 500 to 800. But realistically, 600 to 900. And if things get bad, 700 to 1,000. So there we have it. Let me know what you guys think about this. Once again, bringing you guys some more up-to-date news. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, y'all. Have a good day. Peace out. Keep gaming. Stay real. Ponies. You sit down. Don't you go off those other articles. Keep those rainbows in check. Maybe having some rainbow guns running around, shooting rainbow bullets. Later, y'all.